Good morning. This is the World News at 7 a.m. on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. I am Simeon Sunday. Here are the top stories. INEC publishes final list of candidates for February by-election. And also in the news, former Sierra Leonean president granted permission to travel abroad on medical grounds. Italian social media creators to be bound by same rules as traditional media. In business, CBN says it has paid $2 billion across various sectors. In sports, Mexico backs out of bid to host 2036 Olympics. Details shortly. Please stay with us.
The world's news will be back in a moment. News.
Breaking news on VOP 96.1 FM.
Sports.
The Greek god in Rome!
Business.
The exchange rate will begin to move towards its purchasing power parity value.
Health.
Help the patient as much as you can.
Politics.
Everybody knew that I was just managing.
I withdraw that statement.
Each day you open television, weekend.
Let's be poor. Breathe. Security.
We're making some arrests already, and we can assure Nigerians that we are on top of the game.
And your voice.
But immediately they assume what the story will change.
Talk of lights, talk of good road, talk of some other things.
Bad roads. They should try and do something to it.
The Morning Ride. Weekdays from 6 a.m. Voice of the People. Now you have a voice.
You're welcome back. Now the news in detail. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has published the final list of candidates for the February 3rd, 2024 by-election in Nigeria. In a statement on Wednesday, INEC National Commissioner Sam Olumekun said the by-elections become necessary because of death or resignation of members of the National and State Houses of Assembly. The commissioner said the timetable and schedule of activities, the personnel particulars and final list of candidates have been published in INEC state offices and the affected constituencies pursuant to the provision of Section 29 subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022. And still in the news, Federal High Court in Abuja has declared null and void the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code authorizing the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) to impose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code, as it ruled that administrative and regulatory bodies could not exercise judicial powers. Delivering judgment in a suit instituted by Media Rights Agenda against NBC, Justice Rita Ofili Ajumogobia held that the NBC, not being a court of law, acted above its powers by imposing such fines. The judge commended MRA for its legal challenge of NBC's action and issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the commission or anyone acting on its behalf from further imposing any fine on any media platform or broadcast station in Nigeria for any alleged offense committed under the Nigeria Broadcasting Code. Away from the shores of Nigeria, a former Sierra Leonean president has been granted permission to travel abroad on medical grounds despite facing treason charges. The High Court ruling comes amid speculations that Ernest Baikoroma has agreed to go into exile in Nigeria if charges against him are dropped. He was accused of treason and other offences over a failed coup last November in which some 20 people died. Koroma, who ruled between 2007 and 2018, denies these allegations. And now to Italy, where Italian social media creators could soon be bound by the same rules as traditional media outlets when posting their content online. The activities of influencers are set to come under the oversight of the Italian Communications Authority. The rules will initially apply to content creators with more than 1 million followers. Prominent influencers will face hefty fines if they fail to clearly label brand collaborations or disclose commercial interest. The proposed guidelines also aim to protect children with the new set of regulations, including tough penalties of fines up to £250,000. You are listening to the world news at 7 a.m. on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. Still to come in business, CBN says it has sparked $2 billion across various sectors. In entertainment, P.S. Brosnan pleads not guilty for allegedly venturing too close to danger. And in the world of sports, Mexico backs out of bid to host 2036 Olympics. Please stay with us.
The world's news will be back in a moment. It's not just news. This is the world news on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.
Thank you for staying with us on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. And now to business. Central Bank of Nigeria CBN says it has paid approximately $2 billion across various sectors, including manufacturing, aviation and petroleum, in its bid to clear the backlog of outstanding foreign exchange liabilities. A CBN spokesperson, Hakama Sidi Ali, disclosed this in Abuja on Wednesday, explaining that the bank has commissioned an independent forensic review by a reputable firm. She also disclosed that payment of the forex backlog for qualified transactions have commenced. The Apex Bank says it has also cleared up the entire liability of 14 banks and started settlements with foreign airlines. In entertainment news, former James Bond star Pierce Brosnan has pleaded not guilty for allegedly venturing too close to danger. He was charged with illegally entering Yellowstone National Park's thermal area, where temperatures in acidic hot springs can reach near boiling. The 70-year-old was initially scheduled to appear in court on the 23rd of January for the 1st November incident. However, a Wyoming judge granted his request for a virtual hearing on 20th February. In the world of sports, shock 2022 World Cup semi-finalist Morocco cruised to a 3-0 win over 10-man Tanzania in San Pedro on Wednesday as they opened the Africa Cup of Nations Group F campaign. Captain Romain Saiz scored in the first half, and after, Tanzania had Novatus Miroshi sent off, Azadin Honahi and Youssef En-Nesiri netted for the Atlas Lions. Although an African powerhouse for decades, Morocco is seeking only a second Cup of Nations title 48 years after lifting the trophy in Ethiopia. Morocco sprang to international prominence 2 years ago in Qatar when they became the first African World Cup semi-finalist after eliminating Spain and Portugal in knockout matches. Still in sports, Mexico has abandoned its bid to host the 2036 Olympics more than half a century after first staging the Summer Games. Mexico is considering a bid to host the Youth Olympic Games instead. Alcala and then Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard had announced in October 2022 that Mexico hoped to host the 2036 Olympics. It would have been the second time that the Latin American nation would host the Summer Games. The 1968 Olympics were held in Mexico City. India, Indonesia, Poland and Turkey are among the other countries that hope to host the 2036 Olympics. And that story brings us to the end of the world news at 7 a.m. on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. Remember, your vigilance makes a difference. Protect yourself and your community. Safety first, stay secure. For coverage of your live events and brand mentions in our news bulletin, do send a mail to abujanews@voiceofthepeople.ng. Follow Voice of the People on social media, on Instagram at VOPFM, on Facebook at VOP Abuja, on X VOP961, and on YouTube at Voice of the People Abuja. The news was produced by Yechenu Sasetu.